Just had an interesting thought 2 minutes after my previous video. So I caught myself saying many times today, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this kind of life? It's been so much torture. Yes, there's been a lot of good times, but there's been so much torture that I didn't deserve. And other people seem to have escaped without that. Of course, other people have gotten it a lot worse, and I'm not denying that. But still, so I ask myself, it's not about whether my life is so bad or whether it's also torturous. But I was asking myself, what did I do to deserve this life? What did I do to deserve this life? And I've asked myself many times. So I just started to reflect on that, and I said, why am I asking that? You know, because in the past I found myself asking questions. Usually those questions ended up being for a good reason. Even though I was asking the question and consciously didn't know why. So I just had the epiphany. If I'm asking myself, what did I do to deserve this life? Well, it points to me that I did something in my previous life to deserve this. If there is such a thing as the continuation of a conscious being from one body to another, which I see no reason why there wouldn't be. Anyways, I just wonder if I keep asking myself, what did I do? Maybe I'll remember. Maybe I'll remember a previous life. You know, I have no idea. I don't necessarily believe in it. I just don't necessarily not believe in it. But usually I've found over the past 3 years when I've been traumatized in this state, which is a completely different state. It's a dissociated state I'm in now. I'm not myself. I don't feel like me. My personality seems to be stripped away. And I'm just very traumatized. And it brings back a lot of unconscious thoughts and feelings. And so much has happened in terms of synchronicity and magic under this state that there's two ways to look at it. And I've seen videos on this. I can look at it like I go psychotic and I start to imagine things that don't exist. Or I can look at it that I start to see things that do exist, but normally I don't recognize because I don't need them to survive. Or I'm just locked into the world, the material world, because I can tell you people that this morning I was locked into the material world. And right now I am not. I don't care about my shopping list anymore. I don't care about tomorrow anymore. It seems like I have no concerns other than I'm in a fight or flight or freeze state. And there's nothing I can really do. And that's the world we live in. I can't fight the landlord. It's a law. I can freeze, which is what I'm going to do as soon as I get off this. I'm just going to go to sleep for the next 24 hours. That seems to be the best medicine for disassociation. I have some really bad dreams, traumatizing dreams, night terrors, nightmares, and then I wake up, and 9 times out of 10 I'm fine. It's completely past. And then I have to go back and clean up the damage I've created. The trail of destruction that a borderline leaves. Well, anyways, that's all I wanted to say right now. No, I guess while I have you guys, I'll tell you a funny story that I've recorded on other videos, but I'm not going to upload them now because I'm in a different state than I was yesterday when I recorded it. But I'll give you one story that's kind of amusing because I deleted it. I'm just try to make it as funny as possible. Here it is. So there's a girl I know, I've mentioned her many times, she has borderline also. And she was asking me to help her move. And I said, okay, no problem. be more than glad. She's helped me in the past. She's a nice girl. Um, and then and that was for last Friday. But she texts me on Thursday. Can you come help me? And I started to feel like I was being used. And I said, you know what? Let me just tell you something. I know this happened to me in the past, and it's happened to my friends in the past. Girls ask us to help move their apartment, and we show up and there's 3 or 4 other guys for a small apartment, and we feel completely used. I said, is there any other guys there? Because if you have one more guy for your little bachelor apartment, you guys can do it in 10 minutes. You don't need me. So she responds that she has her father with her car and 2 guys helping her. This is a bachelor the size of mine. She has nothing. I have 3 times more stuff, and I can do it myself in a half hour. I told her to. She said, I had a feeling you were going to respond that way. Yeah, my what do you call them again? My barriers, my borders, my whatever you want to. I forgot the psychological term. So I denied her. And the next day, she emails me again. She texts me again. Sorry. She goes, I need you. And at this point, I'm like, no, she doesn't need me. She doesn't need me. She had 3 men yesterday. I said, when is she emailing me today? I thought she moved yesterday. What's going on? So I put about 5 minutes into it, and I said, wait a second. It's the middle of the month. She needs 3 guys because she wants to do it in as quick as time as possible because she's running away from release. I figured that out. I was saying she doesn't have the money to pay. It was the 8th or the 7th, whatever. Her landlord was about to get angry, and she just ran. I was pretty sure that happened. And here's the punchline. 2 hours after that, when the sun goes down, I happen to be walking by. I pass her street, her house, every day. And there's cop cars outside her building. And obviously what happened was she was moving, and the landlord came and started to argue. And 1 or more of the guys started to argue. And she has a temper just as bad as me. She probably started to throw things or go crazy, make noise. Someone called the police. And I'm glad I was not there. Because I definitely... I like the girl, but she has borderline. And it's pretty scary. I understand people not wanting necessarily to hang with me because at any time you don't know what's going to happen, right? I mean, I'm emotionally volatile. Anyhow, one more thing. My friend, who I mentioned in the last video or 2 videos ago, who went into the psychiatric ward, and I was blaming his girlfriend because he was in a great mood and feeling very strong until he met this girl a year ago, and she got him to give up his apartment, give up his car, and move in with her and pay her mortgage. And then the last time I saw him, he said something about if he's ever homeless, he's going to come ask me how to do it. And then he ends up in the psychiatric ward. Then he comes out, and he doesn't talk to me about recovery, so I'm trying to pull it out of him. He mentioned something about being bullied. Fine, whatever. He doesn't want to talk about it, and then he goes back again over Christmas. So he finally came out again, and I confronted him and said, hey, what did you learn? What happened? He goes, nothing, I'm fine, I'm better now. And he didn't want to, he was kind of shutting me out, I realized, over the text. And it basically struck me that, and I told him, I said, if you don't talk to me, it's going to happen again, man. You got to talk it out. You can't just keep it inside. But he didn't even respond. So, there's 2 sides to this. I realized, one, he's still with the woman, and maybe she saw some of the texts where I was telling him, to be strong and giving him advice, basically, that was not in her best interest. And I think she may have told him not to talk to me. But then when I realized later on was, I said, you know what, this guy's been anxious his whole life. I said, I've known him since he's 15, and he's got a serious anxiety issue. And then it struck me, and he always needs to be with someone. It's like when he doesn't have a girlfriend, he's my best friend. And he's always around for me. But then when he gets a woman or his wife, he completely disappears. Like, not just disappears physically, but doesn't even respond on text. Now, a lot of my friends and myself, we get a new woman, yeah, we kind of disappear, but we're still engaged. We don't change who we are. We'll still text and laugh, and, we'll still be with our buddies, but this guy kind of wipes us out. So I said, wait a second. Maybe he's got a cluster C personality. And then I started to look at them, and I'm like, he's definitely got dependent personality disorder. he really cannot be alone and cannot leave the house without someone there, and he always needs exterior advice and our opinions. And when I looked at the ideological source of the disorder, it was from a mother who's very doting and caring, so the individual does never learns to live by themselves basically and take care of themselves and make decisions for themselves, and that fits really well. I mean, his mother was, in my view, compared to my mother, the best mother that you could ask for. A lot of my friends thought that she was just totally cool. We were able to hang in his bedroom and smoke cigarettes and weed at 15, 16 years old, and all our other parents would go crazy and scream. But today I realized they were all potheads themselves. They were just being parents, which is fine up to maybe age 12, 13, 14. But once you hit your teenage years and you're becoming a man or a woman, I mean, you got to respect your child as a man or a woman, and he got that respect. But he also has two older sisters, and I know his father has an anxiety disorder, so it could be genetic. Anyways, so I was just realizing that. But personality disorders are really tough to deal with. even in the best of times, you never know what's around the corner. I think with my friend, what happens, similar to me, his girlfriends or wives or whoever throws him out or threatens to throw him out, and he has a dissociative episode, just like I'm undergoing at this very moment because of my landlord. And the only difference I can see between my friend and I is that I externalize and I don't hold back any emotion at all, especially anger. So I don't get anxious so much as I get instantaneously anxious, and then it comes out as anger, it remains as anger, and then it basically transmutes into action. And I guess that's why I've been able to survive. I had anxiety, and then I exploded, and then I apologized to my landlord. I told him, I apologize. I always have to do that. Every time I have a borderline explosion, I have to apologize to whoever it is I laced into. 5 minutes later. It doesn't take me very long. But I'm gonna have to find a new place. Unfortunately, it looks like that, because once that happens, I get a bad vibe, and the place is very small, anyways, and I can't get a pet, and that's really what's hurting me. I really, really, really want a pet. I either want, what I really want is a bird. I want a parrot. I've fallen in love with cockatoos. They're too big and large and expensive, so I don't think I'll be able to get a cockatoo, but I can get a cockatiel. I love birds. And I love rodents. I would love a rat. I would love a cat, and I would love to have a bird. And I can't get anything here. So I think I'm gonna have some tough times over the next year. I'm gonna have to or over the next 6 months. I'm gonna have to find a new place, and it's not easy on my budget, especially because I want to keep it my budget. To find something within the neighborhood where I can have pets, it's going to be a challenge. Anyways, people, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.